Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on our 10th year of the station. Of course, let's go up to our friends over in the Northern Territory up at the top end. And of course, the resumption of the NTFL competition has resumed last weekend. And of course, for the ladder leaders PINT in particular, of course, they started, with a fantastic win over Nightcliff last weekend. And of course, but they got a big one against Wanderers this coming weekend at home. And of course, we've got two very special guests, of course, to tell us all about it. Thanks both for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, like you were saying, it was our first round back after Christmas. So it was great. We had a lot of girls that were visiting family that were lucky enough to be able to go interstate for those that could. And yeah, we were able to get everyone back on board and fired up, ready for the first game of the second half of the rounds. So it's been great.
Now, of course, you played Nightcliff, the Tigers, of course, on the road, and you've won by about 9 goals or so in that game. I guess how good was it to firstly get back on the field again after the year break, and obviously to get a very impressive win over, I guess, one of the teams that might challenge for a final spot?
Yeah, it was great. We were sort of just discussing this before we were chatting to you, how lucky we were to have all our girls come back after Christmas. It is hard to get back on the track after all the Christmas ham, but we managed to keep ourselves pretty fit over the Christmas break. I know a lot of the girls were putting in the extra effort while they were away, and our coach was really happy to have us all back for that first game. It's pretty rare to get everyone back up here in Darwin. A lot of people like to travel. I think the winning culture at the moment is making everyone pretty excited to get back out on the track, and to come away with a big win was made everybody happy.
Now let's talk a bit about this weekend's game in particular. Of course, you play Wanderers at home at the DXC Arena. I guess how important is to continue that winning form and try to hold on to top spots at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. I think the key is that we don't want to become complacent at all. It's been a really great run for us so far in, and 12 games undefeated is the first for Pints. So we're rapt to have that under our belt at the moment, but we know we've got to continue to work hard for it, and we know that teams are going to come out really fired up after Christmas too. Everyone wants that final, the top 4 on the ladder, or top 6 is what we'll have for our finals this year. But yeah, it'll be really important to go out there just as strong as we have gone out before Christmas too.
Just saying, it's definitely a different feel for us with the big target on our back. It's something new that we haven't really experienced before. So I think going into every game like that, it's new for us. So there's a lot of enthusiasm to keep going through undefeated if we can.
Go hard.
Now, I just had a look where Wanderers are on the ladder. Of course, they are down the bottom end of the ladder, of course, with the 1 win. I guess how much of this one's a danger game for yourselves?
Look, I watched them play their game this week, and they're still a really great unit of girls. So, yeah, we have to come out firing no matter what the team. They've got some quality girls in there. So, yeah, we will never take those teams lightly.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of experience as well. A lot of girls that have been within the Wanderers Club for many years as well, that come back as a fighting force, and yeah, they get around each other for sure. So we don't know what's coming this weekend. We just have to go out there, like Hendo said, and be strong at it.
Let's talk a bit about the season. You mentioned you're undefeated. You're 12-0 at the moment, sitting 3 games clear of your nearest rival, which is St. Mary's at the moment. I guess, number 1, are you surprised that you're undefeated up to this point? And number 2, I guess, how much of that important is that breathing space between yourselves and St. Mary's and Darwin Buffaloes?
I think the first, are we surprised? It can go both ways. Like, having trained with these girls for so long now, the effort is there. So I'm not surprised that the results are coming. Yeah. But it's surprising after well, for both of us, we've been with this
5
club,
seasons.
5 seasons of only just scraping into finals. So, yeah, it's surprising in that sense, but not because of the work ethic of what everyone's putting in. So, yeah, that's sort of, it's a hard one to answer.
Yeah. And I think as well with those other teams, you know, they come out and they've got players as well that have really sort of brought them together pretty strongly this season too. I know Saints are really have come out really strong. They were a really tough team when we played them last. And we know that, you know, every time that we do face them coming up to or during finals, it's going to be it's anyone's game again. And this season's been great for that because we've had a lot of girls coming up from Victoria for all of the teams in the league. And it's really mixed up the competition, which has been great for NTFL footy.
Let's talk a bit about your coaches there. Tell us a bit about your coaches and how important they've been to the 12-0 success so far.
Yeah, definitely. So we've been really lucky this year. We've had Ricky Nolan come on board. He's been around the men's premier clubs for quite a few years. He's got a lot of experience in coaching footy, and so he's come over with that background of mostly coaching men. We were really about to get him on board this season as a past PINT player. He's played in a premiership as well, and so he knows that's what he's all about. He's like, this is what we're here for. You know, we've got to work hard for this if this is the goal we want to set for ourselves. And we've always been a club that really are great socially. We really get along well on and off the field. And so now to have a coach like Ricky come through and say, right, this is what we need to get you A, B, C. He can see what we need to do, the programming, the work that he's doing with us. It's paying off, obviously. And
he's just
are enjoying it.
So professional, and he's brought it to that next level, which we were all kind of craving and wanting. So it's really nice to have that professional level and that standard now. And everyone's just striving for it. It's great.
What has been the difference between this year and last year?
We've had quite a few new players coming and joining us over at the Queen Ants, and it's been, you know, numbers have continued to grow, and they have done so for every season sort of since we started. We also had a Div 2 side start up last season, which has been even better because it means that we're giving more girls a run of footy every week. And so that in itself has really gathered women within the community to come down, have a kick, you know, have a lot of fun in the process. And I think just building that club culture with these massive numbers, like we've got probably 50 or so, probably more girls that are coming down with the 2 teams. And, you know, that's that drive and that club culture. We're all pushing to succeed, and it's great. Everyone gets around each other. And I think we're just continuing to grow. The momentum is there.
And another thing different from last season, it was that first season for the Div 2. So it was very much seen as a development competition, but it's jumped up so quickly, and it's now its own full-blown competition. And it means that those girls that we're lifting up into the Premier League side have already played footy, whereas the season before they were new to footy. So it's just such a difference to have these girls playing a full season of footy before they're getting introduced to that higher level. So it's just the growth of the game is improving, and I think having so many VFL players come in as well has also lifted the standard.
Now let's talk a bit about both your footy journeys. Where did it all start, and why did you choose it?
I got dragged in, I guess.
It's pretty much everyone's story of starting footy. Oh, my friend said come down, give it a go.
One of our friends, Maddie Keeble, said, you should play football. So she dragged me along. I was a netballer at that point. My background is judo. So I was never tough. Really worried about the physical side of it. It was more just, it was something I'd never been exposed to. So when she said, come along, I said, that seems like a good idea. And at the start, it definitely wasn't. I was horrendous. I wasn't very good, but I really enjoyed the team aspect of it. So I just loved how everyone got around each other, and it was just the vibe of it. And that sucked me in. And I don't know, it's 7 or 8 years now.
Stuck. Yeah. And Hendo's definitely the OG. She's the one that created the PINT women's team for sure. She had a big role in that back 6 seasons ago. So she sort of, there was no women's side for PINTs, and she was one of the ones on board and said, let's make this happen. And lucky she did, because that's why we're all here today. So that's been a massive role that she's played as well. We're really lucky to have her on board.
Yeah, this is sort of my family club. My husband and his family were here playing footy, and there was no women's side at that point. And so I saw a hole, and so I thought we should fill that hole, and
well and truly make it happen.
And we have.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty much, I started playing, my first season was with Hendo as well, and same thing, come down, have a kick, and I got down, and it's still taking me 6 years to learn how to kick a footy, but anyways, it's always a work in progress. But I think that's the part that I loved. I grew up playing netball and basketball, and I love the competitive side of sport, but I think learning a new skill in your 20s actually it's so different than when you learn it as a kid. You're all at the same level, but then when you're in your 20s, it's a new challenge, and you do see yourself improving on little things each week. And I think that's a real draw card to football as well, for a lot of women who are starting in their 20s and haven't grown up playing it all their life. So that's what I loved about it, and that's why I'm still here. And just not only that, just the friends you make and the connections you make with people. It's especially in Darwin, in such a transient town, it's a really great sport to be a part of.
Now, of course, both you captains and vice captains. Tell us, what does that mean to both of you?
It's an honour, really, that we're just surrounded by such incredible women. So to be just a figure, and there's not a lot that we have to do in that role, but it's just, you just
feel supported.
Yeah.
Constantly supported.
I don't know. I feel pretty lucky to be doing it alongside this one. She's pretty incredible. She was coaching us last year, so we begged her last year to coach when we were in a bit of
under the bus. Me and another teammate of ours, Jazzy.
Yeah,
Bucks as well.
Jazzy Bucks. They stepped up for us when we were really struggling to get a coach at that point, and they took on a playing coach role, and that's just incredible to move from when I guess you're new still to the sport, and then to move into that position when we needed it, and now back into just focusing on playing. I don't know, it's pretty incredible.
Well and truly happy to be just playing and focusing on getting out there and just being in that aspect of it this season for sure. But I think, like Hendo said, it's the girls are what make it as enjoyable as it is, and everyone wants to play for each other. It is an honour to be able to represent the girls in that way. It's a great feeling. It's a great club.
Now, I have to ask, what position do both of you play on the field? And you had, I guess, a different position. We'd like to convince the coaches to put you, where would that be?
We play both in the middle. I'm probably a bit of an inside mid. I'm generally getting down and dirty under the packs, so I'm generally trying to get the ball out to the fast impressive runners on the outside like Streader. So I don't know, I'd love to go to a position where I don't end up on the bottom of the packs every single time, so
covered in bruises on a Sunday.
I don't know, I always laugh because I'm actually quite short, but I always say I'd love to give rucking a go, because I just find that would be hilarious. But I think probably playing off the back flank would be the other area I think I'd put my hand up for, but
and you're a natural, that's how it works. I think that fullback would be not my preference at all. I would get absolutely squashed, but midfield, and I love it. I think that's my favorite, my go-to. I love being able to just run, and that was probably my mindset when I first started, was if you can get the ball and you can run fast, you probably won't get as hurt. So theory hasn't really worked out that well, but it's kind of the back of my mindset, just get it and run and get it forward. So definitely.
Now, what does the sport of football mean to both of you, especially playing there at PINT?
No, you said it right.
Yeah. Good.
PINT a beer, it works well for our team.
For me, it just kind of means family. I guess that's That's what I think about when we give up so much time and effort to be here. We're always here. And sort of I wanted to come across because that's where my family was. And now I have this whole new family here of beautiful Queen Ants. So, yeah, it just means family for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I think same sort of thing, the fact that it does, like we were saying before, it brings people together. And moving up to Darwin from country Victoria 9 years ago, it was, you know, the best way to get to know people was through sport. And I think that's where a lot of people come over. They're new to Darwin, they come down and have a kick, and, you know, they might not continue with footy, but they meet people that they can then really start building some really good friendships with. But yeah, I think that's what I love about it, and that it brings you together. Great competitive edge, good outlet for a crazy week as well. So best of all worlds.
Now, what will be your advice to people that should come up to Darwin to watch some, of course, some footy, and especially play there at PINT?
Ooh, advice.
Get involved. Just do it. Like, don't be. I think there's a lot of times you put it off and you're, oh no, I don't know, I'm no good. I don't know how to do it. But any club up here would support people, especially us, but would support people in starting their journey. And you know, you have to learn somewhere. You have to start somewhere. So I think just bite the bullet and make a phone call, put a message out on Facebook to someone, friends of friends. You always hear someone say, oh, I've got someone that played for that team or those people. And what would you say? My
advice would be prepare to stay longer than you think, because we have this lovely little habit of people come up, I'm just coming for a season, I'm doing one season. 6 months, that's it. And you know, 3-4 years later, I was coming up for 6 weeks and now I'm at 10 years. So prepare to fall in love with the NT, the lifestyle, the weather, and the fantastic footy that we have up here.
Now, for everyone who have no idea where PINT is in Darwin, whereabouts is it?
We train at, it's different during the pre-season, but we train at the club. There's the PINTs club out at Marrara, so near the big stadium, which is TIO. So
yeah, if you've ever watched the AFL that is up here, we're right beside that main oval. There's another oval out the back, and that's where we train in Marrara.
Yeah, so even if girls are, you know, they're keen but they're not quite ready to commit, there's only 5 more rounds of the main season left for this year, but we will start up again in August. They can jump on the Facebook page or find us there and get plenty of information for next season if that's what they're thinking. So for sure, hit us up.
Now we'll quickly finish off with a couple lighthearted questions about the team before obviously both of you got training very soon. Firstly, who's the comedian in the team?
Lavo, and I think Chuck would give her a good run for her money too.
Lavo and Chuck, definitely.
Keep us very well entertained.
Any good singers and dancers we should know about, or any?
None that you should know about. No. I think after a few good celebrations, some really terrible dance moves come out. But we can leave those ones in the closet.
This one can sing, but I also have to give big shout out to our Div 2 coach, Storm. She's an incredible interpretive dancer. And if you ever get to go on a footy trip with that woman, you will see the most amazing performance.
Choreographed by Hendo. So we're a real close-knit community of entertainers and competitors in general, really, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, got to laugh as much as we enjoy playing the game.
Any of your teammates into their Tik Toks?
Ooh,
I don't know.
I think we're a little bit old.
Yeah, a little bit older, a little bit.
I think we're I don't know. We are as the older team.
Yeah.
So maybe no.
Not so much TikTok. No.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's all good. Any of your players are just plainly forgetful?
As a collective, more so.
Look, they all get fined for it. Like if anyone's leaving, they get sold.
Water bottles
regularly. Everyone's got these fancy Yetis now and they're getting left behind. They don't last long. They get fined. So, yeah, we're definitely forgetful, but make them pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That was my next question. I'm sure you had your fire system.
Yeah.
What was the weirdest find that anyone's copped?
Oh, that's such a good question. I wish we'd researched it because there's some doozies.
Oh, there's so many inappropriate ones.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the PG.
I'll throw myself under the bus. I got fined this season just a couple of weeks ago. I peed my pants on the field by accident.
I didn't know if you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, I think it's a fine for sharing that with just the broader community too. Like, we'll make sure she pays for this one too.
I figure if you try and hide these things, they come out more often.
Yeah.
So just tell everyone.
Yeah. To be fair, we know anyone.
Let's just drink too much water before we play.
But yeah, like that's the tip of the iceberg, really, isn't it, Hendo? Yeah, that's PG.
Yeah.
I've got to finish up with this one last one, which is, has anyone got a really good nickname?
We usually go for convenience, like just whatever rolls out quickly. Pidge has a pretty unique nickname.
No. I feel like my favorite nickname on the team is just someone's last name. It's Grub. I just think it's such a classic.
Yeah.
Like Grub, like that, everything about it is just reminds me of footy. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't really made it up. It's actually just her last name.
Yeah. Grubby. Yeah. Easy one.
Yeah, Grubby.
Yeah.
She's
yeah, she is. She's a legend. She's just a legend. Yeah.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time. Of course, prior to your training session tonight, of course, best of luck against Wanderers. Hopefully that 12-0 can make it 13-0 by the end of this weekend coming up, and let's hope can keep that rolling. Hopefully all the way into the finals.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Will. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries, of course. If you want to get down there, if you're in Darwin, of course, you want to get down there to watch the PINT girls in action. Of course, they take on Wanderers this weekend. We'll put all the details up on how you can go down and support, of course, the mighty PINT team in, of course, the 2021 season. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about it. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.